Hello, Slurred Word Sports fans. It's Mike. I'm joined by Matt. It is May 31st by the time you'll hear this.
Yep.
We just watched the Warriors Raptors. Game one's in the books.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
so excited.
it was so awesome. Matt, I got a story for you, though, before we get all into this.
Alright, let's hear it.
So I was on my way home after the game. I was walking home, and these girls and this guy's like doing like the little skateboard thing that only has like two wheels, and the girls were in rollerblades. And I realized,
Wait,
what's that?
what? The skateboard thing with two wheels?
Yeah, it's like you gotta lean back and forth and stuff.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called, but if you want to look it up, you can find it. But it doesn't really matter. It's more about the rollerblade girls. The girls in the rollerblades. I realize I'm like, there's two types of girls in college that are in a rollerblade. The girls that are just very like, they're kind of weird. And they're just having a lot of fun, and there's the girls that are just really fucked up, probably on like shrooms, really really high, and they're like, we're taking the roller skates out right now. And that's just kind of what I realized. And then I saw them, like, they were just drinking. I'm pretty sure they were, like, smoking. But I'm like, yeah, there's only two type of people that are going to rollerblade right now at any point. The people that are just really, like, the really kind of, like, off people that are going to rollerblade. No offense to people that rollerblade. Or the people that are getting really high.
Yeah.
And no offense to those people either.
You're might be alienating part of our audience. You don't know.
I'm not trying to alienate them. I'm just saying there's definitely the people that rollerblade. There's two people that rollerblade.
No, I gotcha. I'd agree. You know what I have to say though?
Huh.
If rollerblading's your thing, you do you. Don't be afraid to be you. If rollerblading's your thing, I just want to send that message to everyone.
Thank you, Matt. That's very deep of you. I'm really proud that you would say something like that. And that's why we can always trust you. With that, let's jump into game one. In Toronto, Drake was obviously the star of the show. Matt, you lead us in the way.
You know what? I was glad. I thought they would have made a bigger deal about him, and they didn't. They only mentioned him once in the first half.
They really didn't, honestly.
I really thought. I thought they were going to make a big deal about him and show him every 5 minutes, and they didn't. Let's give it up to the real star of the show, Pascal Siakam.
Mm-hmm.
What a tremendous third quarter he had, and it's such a dangerous thing playing against the Warriors because their third quarters are always so. They just seem to be on fire every third quarter. So coming into that third quarter, Pascal Siakam kind of getting to the rim, dictating the pace, and setting the standard for what was needed to happen was, I thought, one of the most important things. And really, beating Golden State is hard enough. If you can't win at home,
there's no chance. Yeah,
done. So getting that first game is real important. They gotta follow it up because they're just gonna get tougher.
I agree. With Pascal Siakam's performance, insane. And then you were mentioning it earlier, the third quarter. I feel like that's just the Warriors team all playoffs. You're just like ready for the run. It's gonna come. You're waiting for that 12-0 run where they just get on fire and you expect them to come back. It just never happened. I was so ready for it. I was like,
they had
all right,
a small one in the beginning of the second. At some point in the second,
they cut it to 5. They couldn't really.
The
They just couldn't get it there.
Yeah.
I was just kept waiting for it. I'm like, all right, well, they're gonna get the 3. They're gonna force a steal. They're gonna hit another 3, and then it's just like the game's back. And then they just kind of never got that.
So, they had previously not lost the games since Durant went out. Do you think Durant makes it back in the finals? And do you think it if they win the next, let's say they win the next game in Toronto, they're not bringing Durant back till they play in Toronto again, right?
From what I've heard is he hasn't even cleared to practice. So game 2 is where they want him to be cleared for practice. So the best case scenario then he would be game 4, I would think. Mm-hmm. And if you lose game 2, you probably got to get him for game 3 at some capacity.
Well, I don't think you need him in Golden State. I think Golden State's good enough where if they have the home court advantage.
Yeah, but it's a 2-0. You go down 3-0, it's over. The series is over.
Yeah, if they can go down 2-0, win 1, and then lose another, and then it's 3-1. They're in the perfect position.
For 3-1, I know what you're saying. You're making the joke. But for all, like, seriousness point, I mean, like, the Warriors they're still the Warriors. They're still very, very good. Pascal, it took an amazing performance from Siakam. That's what it's going to take for the Raptors to win. They're going to need Kyle Lowry to go nuts. They're going to need either Siakam or Marc Gasol to go nuts and really help them out.
Why Leonard didn't have a fantastic game? He still had a good one. Did he finish with 21?
I don't remember.
21 late in the fourth.
I don't remember how many points he had. I'll look it up right here.
Regardless, if he scored
23.
more than 21, what?
23.
23, yeah. So those and those last two didn't really matter. So he had 23 points, not great shooting, started off pretty poorly, and also made a couple kind of like, it's so tough because he came into the league as a defensive guy, and now he's having to be a primary ball handler and play runner. He's having to make passes. That's not really his game, and he made a couple mistakes. The Warriors kind of caught him out a couple times, which you can't really blame him because it's not really his skill set, but it is the position he finds himself in. If they can mitigate that some, then they don't need as much from Siakam. I think the big question mark for me is what will Serge Ibaka play in this series? Because for me, he doesn't add anything. He kind of is a negative. The only reason I would ever play him is because you can't play Marc Gasol 48 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, you need those bodies kind of to go against their the bigger guys for Golden State because they've shown they can. Alfonso McKinney, they're getting rebounds. They're finding ways to score because people just kind of like forget about them down low and they get their putbacks. So, I mean, they're important, and it stretches out the defense, obviously. Or at least Serge Ibaka stretches it out. Marc Gasol does, too. But for Toronto, they played exactly how they needed to play. They had all the guys they needed to contributing. Mm-hmm. Kyle Lowry, he only had 7 points, but, I mean, he had 9 assists.
Fred VanVleet's incredible defense on Steph Curry. Fred VanVleet was incredible.
VanVleet had a great game. Gasol played pretty well. He had 20 points, 7 boards.
Knocking down threes. That's what they need from him. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. Gasol is a good passer out of the post, a very underrated passer out of the post. And people don't forget, Gasol won a Defensive Player of the Year. He's a great scheme defender. He plays well in a scheme. And that's what I was kind of saying about Serge is Serge kind of doesn't do that same thing and he gets lost. And if Serge switches onto anybody, he's not quick enough to keep up with them. I saw there was one point, it was either Steph or Clay. I actually don't remember. But he got switched onto one of them and they just cooked him. I mean, and it was the easiest thing ever. And so that's why I'd worry. You know, I know you put Serge out there, and he, you know, I'm sure he played well on Kevin Looney, and he is a big body, but it's also like I feel like he's a real big liability.
The thing I noticed, I'm just looking at the box score right now, what the bigs did for the Raptors, Jordan Bell, Kevon Looney, Alfonso McKinney, they had a total of 7 rebounds. 7 total rebounds. And that's huge for the Raptors. Those guys are going to get those offensive putbacks, and then they just, like, that's, like, what beats them. They only had, like, less than 10 total points between the 3 of those guys. And those guys are people they need to, like, step up to help them win. I don't know if the DeMarcus Cousins coming back had some kind of effect on them with their minutes and stuff and just affected them. But I don't really think it did because Boogie only played for so much.
Yeah, he didn't play that much, and I think that's going to be one of those things where I think they can use him properly. The way I would do it is you play him for, maybe 5 minutes a half, 7 minutes a half. And you just tell him, you say, hey, you play him with the backups and you say, hey, just go to work on that low block. Like, just start trying to punish them down low. And if he starts kind of getting in a rhythm, then, okay, maybe he can extend a little longer. But then that also requires Toronto to get Marc Gasol back in, get one of those guys back in and deal with them if Boogie's able to. So I thought he was kind of passive, which is to be expected. I mean, he tore his quad less than 2 months ago.
Not only that, he just tore his quad less than a month ago. He hasn't played like a full season of basketball. He's been playing like very limited time of basketball. He hasn't played like basketball in almost like a year and a half.
Yeah.
For like consecutively. He only played how many games in Golden State? He played...
Well, he didn't come back till what, February or March?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he barely he didn't get much time. He's not
tore his ACL right after the All-Star break last year.
He's
or not ACL,
it's
Achilles.
Achilles. He's not. He's still trying to regain his. He's still trying to regain his game, and he's trying to get back to the minutes and composure of him playing. He's not going to regain his form that easily, and then he just hit another injury. It's tough. It's I don't know if they even should have played him. I don't even know if he should be playing right now. He's such a talented player, but he's not. It's hard. You throw him into the finals. He hasn't had reliable minutes for this team. I don't see that it's a good. I don't know if you want him in the games right now. I don't think it was a good idea having him in game one, throwing him back into the fire on the road. I just don't think that was a good move.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. More rest is not necessarily a bad thing. But I think that it's just he's got to have that game experience at some point. You got to give it to him at some point. And maybe, not on the road. Maybe you wait till home to do that.
But I mean, it's the finals. You can't really wait. I understand.
Exactly. Yeah, you can't really wait. And the thing is, if he regains any amount of his form, I mean, maybe it's not much, but any amount of his form, that changes the entire outlook of the series. And it throws such a monkey wrench into the Raptors' plans.
I think it does throw the wrench in the Raptors' plans, but I don't think he's not necessary for the Warriors if they're going to win the series.
Not at all.
He's not necessary at all.
And we've seen it.
Now
Kevin Durant isn't necessary. DeMarcus Cousins isn't.
Or now you look at it. You're thinking the DeMarcus Cousins move is probably not a good move for the Warriors. This is not a guy you really need. You need a backup guard. You need someone else that's going to be more reliable.
And I don't know if a backup guard was necessarily in the books.
I mean, they have maybe a forward, but I mean they have these forwards that stepped up. I mean, you need another backup. You need a bench guy. You need a bench guy that's going to be more reliable. Someone like Sean Livingston. Sean Livingston has Sean Livingston from 2 to 3 years past.
Yeah.
You need that guy that can give you the points when your guys aren't going to be scoring. They can take the pressure off them from making every single play.
I think they were hoping McKinney and
Kayvon?
Yeah, Looney starts.
He didn't start today. Jordan Bell started today.
Did Jordan Bell start today?
From the box score, yes. I believe so.
Yeah, he did. Well, yeah, then I guess Looney. But yeah, I thought they thought he was going to step up.
They need that offensive guy. They don't expect the offense from that 4 and 5 spot is the thing. That's what I'm saying. They need Quinn Cook was kind of they're all right, we got Quinn Cook. We'll use Quinn Cook.
Man.
But I got a joke about Quinn Cook.
Uh-huh.
So I don't understand why a lot of teams just do this. If you're struggling and you're you're not struggling, but you're a super team and you need these backup players, just sign anybody from Duke that played at Duke. Get your Quinn Cook, your Grayson Allen, a second round guy. Trey Jones next year is going to be that guy. You just need that one guy. He's going to be so reliable. Just get anybody from Duke. Just don't get Jahlil Okafor. Anybody from Duke is going to fill in that role.
I remember when Quinn Cook played for the Thunder when the Thunder were in the finals in 2014.
Quinn Cook's going to fill roles. I mean, you can trust anybody from Duke. They're going to know what to do. They've already played with these really, really talented guys. And they're already I can be backup. I can be the backup. I know how to play the third fiddle, the fourth, fifth, sixth fiddle. I know how to do this.
Yeah.
And they use it.
I thought that... I thought that there were a lot of good things from Toronto. And they have to win this next game. But... and I mean, they do have the luxury of having home court advantage. But, Golden State's going to get hot for one of your home games, and they're going to take it. So this series, I'm not ready to call or ready to figure out what happens until I see Toronto play in Golden State. I think that's going to be a big deciding factor because you feel like usually Golden State will get hot and take a game on the road. That's just sometimes what they do. Or Klay Thompson will score 45 or something weird. And it's just that game's moot. So I feel like the Raptors are going to have to probably take one in Golden State if they want to win this, and we'll have to see what happens when they go there for Game 3.
If the
Raptors have to win Game 2,
if the Raptors win Game 2, the series gets very, very interesting because you got to think about how healthy is Kevin Durant, and if they rush Kevin Durant back, how much does that mess up the offense? What does it do? We'll get into that narrative later, but for now, it's still an open series. It's still the Warriors versus